every fetter. Throw your hands in the air. This is for them that want it. And he says, be free. Fetter is an old school word for chains, bondage. And you got people on your row whose hand you held. Grab that hand real quick. Let's do this one more time. Jesus breaks every fetter. I don't care what chains you came in with. Jesus breaks every fetter. Jesus breaks every fetter. Squeeze that hand, and he says, me free. St. John chapter 10. And he says, me free. And he says, me free. St. John 10, stand to your feet when you have it and you're ready. And he says, me free. As he says, me free. Yes, sir. St. John chapter 10. I want to drop down to the 24th verse. And he says, me free. And it reads from verse 24, and he says, me. Then came the Jews round about him. Sound good, sound man, thank you so much. And said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be the Christ, tell us plainly. Jesus answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. You may be seated in the presence of God. I want to talk prophetically tonight in this message, the whole duration of time that I have been allotted, from the subject, I'll never let go. I'll never let go. Clap your hands for what God is getting ready to tell you. I want to read from the Amplified Version the same text that was read in your hearing. So the Jews surrounded him and began saying to him, "How long are you going to keep us in suspense? Keep us guessing. If you are really the Christ, the Messiah, the anointed one, tell us so plainly and openly." Jesus answered them, "I have told you so, yet you do not believe. The works that I do in my Father's name testify concerning me. They are my credentials and the evidence declaring who I am. But you do not believe me. So you do not trust and follow me, because you are not my sheep. The sheep that are my own hear my voice and listen to me. I know them and they follow me. I give them eternal life, and they will never, ever, by any means perish. And no one will ever snatch them out of my hand. My Father who has given them to me is greater and mightier than all, and no one is able to snatch them out of the Father's hand. I and the Father are one." I want you to see, I'm going to try to get through this quickly but effectively. If you'll pray with me. The attaining power of God's obtaining concerning us. I know that was a lot, but let me say it again. The attaining power of God's obtaining concerning us. There is a difference between attaining and obtaining. And when we look at the book of John, just so you have background, John does not talk about Jesus from a natural perspective. He talks about Jesus from a spiritual perspective. Because he wants all of us to understand separately or differently or from a different perspective from Matthew, Mark, and Luke, even though these four gospels are joined together, John does not write according to how they saw Jesus. He does not open up with the genealogy starting with Mary. He opens completely different, starts in John chapter 1 and says, "I need you to understand that I see Jesus completely different from the other three that you have read. In the beginning was the Word." I got a few of y'all that read that Bible. "And the Word was, and the Word was God." He moves now and begins to try and help us to understand that the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld him as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace, and we heard that word last night, grace and truth. The issue here we are having is in John chapter 10, is Jesus is talking like he owns us. And you know, in the day and time we live in now, we don't want nobody owning. We grown, can't tell me nothing, can't tell me what to do, where to go. I pay my own bills. Even if you don't know how I pay the bills, I still pay the bills. I buy my own clothes, go where I want to go, do what I want to do, stay as long as I want to stay, doing what I want to do, going where I want to go. But I want you to look here as how Jesus presents a problem in the text. That I own you. And he doesn't own us just because he's Jesus. I thought y'all knew him like I did. You know, in the old school, you say Jesus. We had at least a mother saying, yes, sir, but never mind. We're not going to push you that way tonight. We're going to walk a different path. Nudge a neighbor and say, Jesus owns you first. We see this now in the learned life behaviors, I promise I'm coming, of his people through his own personal encounters while on earth. He wants us to see, as Jesus, while on earth, everything I encountered as Jesus, dealing with all of you then and now, guarantees and assures all of us in here that he has what it takes to keep us in his possession. Woo! God, help me hold it together. Nudge a neighbor and tell him God is possessive. The terminology for attain is defined as a verb, which means action. It's always moving. It's always working. And it means to reach as an end. It means to gain. It means to achieve. It means to attain a goal. Whereas defining obtaining or obtainment, it is still a verb, but it means something completely different, because it means to get or to secure or to